I'm going to show you how President Biden continues to keep it classy and outmaneuver Donald Trump in the closing days of the Biden administration. And of course, I'm going to keep to my promise and not show you any Donald Trump videos and audios while doing so. I want to show, though, what Donald Trump said, so I'll reenact it. Again, not show you the audio and the video, what he said at this American Fest conference in Arizona over the weekend. And let's do a little bit of compare and contrast, shall we? Here's what President Biden is doing in his closing days. He writes, "Tax cuts for the wealthy didn't create opportunities for workers and families. Instead, factory towns were hollowed out, and fewer Americans ended up better off. That's why I fought to invest in jobs of the future, lower costs, raise wages, and strengthen workers and small businesses. We put working families and the middle class at the center of all of my economic policies. To that end, Midas Mighty, check out the exclusive interview I did with President Biden in the Roosevelt Room of the West Wing of the White House, where President Biden said that what he wants to be remembered for is always keeping his word and delivering the things he said that he was going to deliver for workers, for Americans, for hardworking Americans. His bottom up, middle out. President Biden posted the following: "During this season of reflection, I'm filled with gratitude for the service members and veterans I've met along the way, here at the White House and across America. It's been the honor of my life to lead you, serve you, care for you, and defend you." He writes the following as well: "Visiting the kids at Children's National Hospital to spread holiday cheer with a good book has become one of our favorite holiday traditions. This year's visit was no different." He also talks about the various infrastructure projects that he's been building, made possible by President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law: San Diego International Airport, a new Terminal 1 to replace the existing terminal with a modern and efficient facility, and improved transportation connectivity to and from the airport, bringing our airports into the 21st century. Finally, okay, you see that President Biden, though, has a framework of principles and values that he lives by. Contrast that over here to Donald Trump. Donald Trump over the weekend spoke at this event in Phoenix, and he goes, "Matt Gaetz, he's got a big career set up." In other words, putting his arm around Matt Gaetz. And of course, we all know all of the horrors that surround Matt Gaetz, Trump's prior attorney general pick, who dropped out. Speaking of another one of Donald Trump's cabinet picks, Pete Hegseth, a Fox News weekend host who never led a military company in his career, who was in the National Guard, but never led a military company, who also has sexual assault allegations against him, and other very serious allegations about alcoholism, and a letter from his mom to him saying that, you're out of control, you're an abuser, you're a horrible person. Essentially, Trump goes, regarding Hegseth, who Trump picked to be defense secretary, like the person who has access to the nukes. Trump goes, "I've interviewed with him a lot on Fox, and all he ever wanted to talk about was the military. He'd talk about how unfairly our soldiers were treated. Can I give a pardon to this one or that one who was treated so unfairly?" So Donald Trump's qualifications for the individual who would become a defense secretary is essentially someone who talked about the military on a Fox TV show. In contrast, President Biden's Secretary of Defense was a retired 4-star general. Donald Trump says, "Likewise, there's been a 25% increase in childhood cancer." There has not been a 25% increase in childhood cancer. It's more like an increase of about 0.6%. But as this account says, regardless, if Donald Trump believes that cancer in children is up 25%, then why was Donald Trump so okay with the Republicans removing from the continuing resolution pediatric cancer research at the NIH. Ask yourself that question right there. Trump goes on to talk about Hannibal Lecter. You know, the press gave me a hard time because I used the word, a name horrible, like they said. Why do I keep saying Hannibal Lecter, Hannibal Lecter? Why do I say Hannibal Lecter? Trump then goes on to further threaten Panama. Did a lot of videos on this. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question. Already, the president of Panama said, no, it belongs to us. We're a sovereign country. Go away. Go away. Donald Trump then also writes, the European Union is suddenly talking about buying vast quantities of natural American, beautiful natural gas. It's beautiful and very inexpensive. Donald Trump has been threatening Europe that if they don't buy American oil, that he will impose tariffs on them. Donald Trump making a social media tweet or post or X, whatever they call him these days, did nothing in moving Europe to change their behavior at all. But Donald Trump goes there and thinks he's a big, powerful man for saying it. Ridiculous. Trump goes, if I didn't know that we won in 2020, I wouldn't have done this. In other words, further spreading election conspiracies right now in 2024 about the 2020 election. That's how pathetic he is, still fixated on the 2020 election. Trump also goes on to talk about Elon Musk, and he goes, the new one that they're all saying is that Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. Elon Musk's not going to be president. That I can tell you. I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, the fact that Trump is even talking about this shows how much President Musk is bothering him. Trump then also goes, here's my plan. We're going to advertise how bad drugs are for you. They ruin your look. They ruin your face. They ruin your skin. Nobody's done that before, and we're going to do it. And again, it's just the stupid lies. What do you mean nobody's ever said that drugs are bad? No one's ever run advertising campaigns at the government level to tell people to stop doing drugs. I grew up with all of those ads. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. There's lots of marketing campaigns about it. The marketing campaigns in the past have not worked. Donald Trump goes, we will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our scores. And we're going to get it out of our schools very fast. Our scores and our schools. You saw I did that video yesterday on the head of the NCAA who was asked how many transgender athletes are there in the NCAA. The NCAA has a total of 510,000 athletes. Only 10 transgender athletes are in the entire NCAA playing sports. 10. So this is a manufactured issue by MAGA Republicans to have a culture war serve as the subterfuge to conceal the class war by billionaires looting and pillaging from regular people. Then Donald Trump praises Kari Lake. Donald Trump says, under the United States administration, there will only be males and females, 2 genders. I'm so strong, only 2 genders. Again, just a bunch of performative crap that he says because he has no real policies. Kari Lake, she's going to be doing something big, maybe bigger. That's a big one you have there, Kari. Good luck with it. You're doing well. Good to turn that around like nobody ever saw before. I don't know what the hell he's even talking about. All right, I'm done going through talking about what he did. On the other hand, President Biden posts 235 federal judges confirmed. The Biden-Harris administration built a federal judiciary that reflects the promise of America. The Senate has confirmed the 235th federal judge during my presidency, the largest number of confirmations in a term in nearly 50 years. Judges shape our lives. I'm proud of those who heeded the call to serve and of the legacy I'll leave with the men and women I've appointed. I think about 60% people of color as well from the judiciary right there, which I think is very, very an important stat as well. Diverse, highly qualified judges, federal judges. More posts from President Biden about infrastructure projects like the Portal North Bridge, a new 2.44-mile railroad bridge along the Northeast Corridor that will improve service, reliability, and capacity for all rail travel between New Jersey and New York City. The Biden-Harris administration finalizes its rule to cap overdraft fees to as low as $5. President Biden's posting about banning assault weapons. I just think you see the contrast there. You can judge for yourself. If you can, I'd love for you to watch the interview I did with President Biden. Check it out. I did it in the Roosevelt Room of the West Wing of the White House. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts about that interview as well. And it would be a huge help to this network if you can share that full interview I did with President Biden, which again is on our YouTube page, to as many people as you can. If you could do it to 10, 15, 20 people, it would be so helpful to us. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. And if you can, hit subscribe to this channel. It's free to subscribe. Help us get to 4 million subscribers.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.